Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Employment Committee. So we'll go first onto the agenda. Any apologies for absence? Okay, just thank you. Agenda 2, any declarations of interest? No, thank you. Any points rising from the previous meeting, employment meeting, the 27th of June?
No, move it, Chair.
And the last agenda is the pay policy statement, which I believe the officers are going to talk us through. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So as the committee will be aware, we are required to publish an annual pay policy statement under the Localism Act to provide transparency with our approach to how we set the pay of our employees. So tonight's paper is a draft pay policy statement for 2025 for your comments and feedback. And we are asking, following any comments or feedback from the committee, that the committee policy goes forward for approval of full council. Apologies, there is a slight typo in the recommendation. Expecting it goes to full council in March. There isn't a full council in March, so the proposal is there were no significant changes this year, but we have highlighted in yellow throughout the document the changes from the 24 statement. And Jane Jukes, their HR director, is just going to briefly run through those changes, if that's okay, Gina.
Okay, thank you, Kerry. So on page 1, under the Chief Executive's responsibilities, there's an area highlighted in terms of development control, otherwise known as planning. So that is moved under the Chief Exec. On page 2, the Chief Operating Officer has additional responsibility for commissioning services for LWM in respect of human resources and communications. That is different from last year. On page 3, the Director of Residence and Business Services has an additional responsibility around leading the commissioning of the Disability Facilities Grant Service within LWM. On page 5, the table additional payments changed slightly from last year. Not proposing to sort of at this point go into sort of every line and every detail. Mainly where the changes happened, it's because of turnover. So where
your page numbers are different than mine.
Yeah. It's because it's in the agenda pack.
Oh, right, I'm with you. Okay. I'm okay.
So page 13, table additional payments.
Thank you, Kerry. So where the numbers have changed, it's because of turnover, and some of the numbers have stayed the same from last year, and there's nothing we can do about it because it's contractual, and some of it is historical in terms of TUPE terms and conditions where people have transferred from other employees, and under the legislation with TUPE we have to protect their previous employment rights, and we can't change their terms and conditions. The next page, which I think is page 14, there's more information in there that was there from last year around apprenticeships, because I think there was questions last year around the apprenticeships. So we have 8 apprenticeships at the moment, which represents 2.58% of the workforce. They are 2 business analysts that are doing level 4 apprenticeships. There are 2 doing degree level apprenticeships in communications and marketing within the company. There is one person doing an environmental health degree apprenticeship, and we've got 3 people doing digital apprenticeships in the digital team. Of the 8 apprenticeships, 3 are under age 25 and 5 are over age 25. We've given a little bit more information to last year on people that have received a performance bonus in the council. So 20 people got a performance bonus in the council this year of £1,000. Of that, 45% were male out of a profile of 60% males, and 55% of women got the £1,000 bonus out of a profile of 40% females in the workforce. And then you've got an additional table that then just breaks that down by grade, from A to D, E to G, H to I, J to K and L to M. So it gives you the percentage of people within those grades that got the performance bonus, and then against the workforce profile. Okay. And then the next page,
17.
which is page 17, thank you, Kerry. It just gives the relationship to the lowest paid full-time equivalent within the council, the chief exec salary, and the ratio there is 1 to 6.57. The Hutton report says that no public sector manager can earn more than 20 times the salary of the lowest paid person. So you can see at 1 to 6.57, we're okay, we're easily okay. And the lowest paid employee in the medium average to the chief exec is 1 to 3.88. And the median average full-time equivalent earnings to the chief exec is 1 to 3.50. And the medium average full-time equivalent earnings, the medium average chief officer is 1 to 2.55. So all well within the share.
Yeah, will the move to the upgrade of the working package that they're getting, i.e. the state has set a higher rate, will that affect these figures, or are we already above that?
So
Minimum wage.
minimum wage, we're already paying the real living wage. We've put it up this year in the council, so no, it won't impact at all. And then on
19, page
19, there's a appendix 1 is currently the salary bandings within the council, which is set nationally, and you'll just notice that at band A, the national joint council rate for band A is 23,656, but because we pay the real living wage, we're actually paying anybody that's on that lower end on the band A, we're paying 24,309 to make sure that we pay the real living wage, which is slightly higher. It really.
We take any questions, anybody?
Yeah, I have a few, if that's okay, please. Going back to the report, it says that that this has been consulted with staff, which is obviously quite right. Has it been agreed with staff, or is there any outcome from that consultation?
So in terms of consultation, any changes to pay policy in terms of, so for example, the performance bonuses and the benefits package we put in last year, we consulted with staff as those changes come into play and get views and opinions. So this is a policy statement. It's not that exciting for our members of staff. So we don't consult on the statement as a whole. What we do consult on is as we bring in new elements to the pay policy, we consult staff on those as they come up and get views and opinions before we then agree to them becoming part of our policy.
Okay, thank you. And a second question, if I may, it's on what we've got as page 17. Quite sure what it's what that's equivalent to. It gives the ratios, which is are they much different from the previous year's ratios?
Can I ask a quick one? How many staff have we actually got?
That's in
the report. So this was done as a snapshot as at the 31st of December 2024, and we've got 310 staff. That excluded casuals and agency workers, as you would expect, and contractors. So permanent, fixed term and temporary, 310 as at the 31st of December 2024.
Thank you, I missed that, so I asked.
That's a quick one. It's a very quick one. On the salary scales of, is it A to M?
Yes.
What would you, I would say SO2?
All right. Righty.
I know I'm going back into ancient history.
Oh, gosh, you are, you're taking me.
Oh, never mind. I'm just curious, that's all.
I'll have to take that away and have a look at that for you.
Okay, just be curious.
Remind us, Mark, what was SO2?
Senior officer.
Senior officer two, there was SO1, SO2, and it is
6.
officer A, B, C, didn't it?
That's it. I was just wondering, going back to some old money, if you want.
I'd have to take that away and have a look.
Yeah, well, look at it for me. I'd just be curious. All works out. I suppose that would be about 10 years ago, would it?
Possibly a bit longer than that.
Only asked.
I think I'd spoken in our previous meeting regarding the gender performance bonuses, and I think we'd mentioned that the 60% of the workforce profile was the male because of the more males in the refuge. I think that's correct, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Would it possible for me to ask another one?
Of course. Yeah.
This is now on the performance bonuses again. The ones by pay band.
Yeah.
It's quite noticeable to me that the lowest paid, I mean, there's only 5% of the bonuses, and the workforce profile is low, obviously, as well. So I'm just wondering whether that's just a statistical thing because of the number of people on there, or whether it's to do with it being quite difficult to measure in those tasks performance against somebody who is, say, a more highly paid project officer, where you can get details about how they've performed, and some of those are quite difficult. So I'm just wondering which is the explanation for there being so few.
So it's actually the other way around. So pay band A to D is the lowest. So
Oh, right.
10% of
Right.
all
Right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
to those in A to D. We do have, as I think you've kind of hinted at, Russ, a wide range of different job roles and different kind of professions within the council as well. So it is very challenging to be able to compare across, and that's why leadership team undertake the moderation process to agree the end of year rating for every member of staff, and to agree the 20 members of staff who receive those performance bonuses. So we attempt to do that check and balance in terms of ensuring a level playing field in terms of comparing performance from, let's say, a loader of one of our waste vehicles through to, as you've said, a kind of project officer or an accountant in finance. So we talk about, we very much focus the OKR discussions on what added value they bring to their role, how they help to make the district a better place, how they help support their other colleagues as well, what kind of additional value they bring above and beyond doing a really good job as well.
There's a lot of time that goes into it. There is a lot of discussion.
There is. We did talk about, as leadership team, should we set kind of percentages for each band, but then that felt unfair as well. Yeah, do we say, right, well, 28% of all performance bonuses have to be for A to Ds, but again, that didn't feel like we were being fair across the board and being fair in terms of where our high performers are. So we didn't look at these percentages until after. We tried to do the moderation with a clear kind of level playing field, and then we looked at the data, and actually we thought it was a reasonably good spread.
I'm not giving just quick follow up. I mean, I'm not suggesting that anybody's trying to be unfair, but I can see that if you're, as you say, a loader on the bin lorry, it's what you're doing is brilliant for the borough, but it's difficult to show additionality because actually you're just working like mad doing that, aren't you? and there's more than a quarter of the workforce are in A to D, and only 10% of the bonuses. And so that's what raised my kind of concern.
Yes, but I think to provide some reassurance, as Jane has said, leadership team you do very thorough moderation. So we take a huge amount of time out over the summer. Leadership team commit to hearing from the managers of every member of staff and challenging them both positively and constructively in terms of, right, well, tell us more about that member of staff, tell us about the great job that they do. Some of our managers have perhaps at points when they've come to the moderation sessions before gone, well, I think it's maybe this rating, but actually through the moderation process, they've gone, oh, actually, no, you're right. This member of staff is outstanding. So I think our managers have also got used to how the process works now after this is our second year of doing this as well. So they know the types of evidence that staff need to display to be able to get in the mix for those outstandings.
Quickie question, do the same people tend to get the bonus? Because, you know, it can be a double-edged sword, can't it? I mean, you can have people feel motivated by it. You can have people feeling demotivated because it always goes to so-and-so. We never get anything. And therefore, you actually find there's a decrease in performance rather than increase in performance. I wonder how you tackle that.
Yeah, I think as well, obviously when we put the benefits package together, it wasn't just the bonuses. We've got the private health insurance that's available for all staff. Last week we had our second staff awards ceremony, which was really well attended. We had I think more than double the amount of nominations this year. And again, different people have received the annual staff awards this year as they did last year. And it's the same with the staff bonuses. We've got different people who have been awarded them the second year than the first year. And I think there is a recognition that this is a one-off, and actually to keep it outstanding and keeping that top 20 members of staff out of 310 is really hard. So it's fabulous to get it, but there's that, you know, there absolutely isn't an expectation that, well, I'll definitely get it next year as well.
Okay.
That's the end of the meeting now. Thank you. Thank you.
So do we have to adopt this or
Oh,
not?
sorry, yes, we do. We need to.
Yeah.
Sorry. To take it to full council. Sorry. Do we all agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that. Fabulous. Yeah. No, that is the end of the meeting.